Two retired detectives that were in the thick of New York crime, fast and hectic. They got some stories and some jokes, even an interview with the most popular folks. Off the cuff, one episode just ain't enough. Get a little laughter and an interview too. It's maybe the best thing you can do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, Bill Cannon. I'm a 27-year veteran of the NYPD, retired. And with me tonight is my co-host, straight out of Brooklyn, retired NYPD Detective Phil Grimaldi. How you doing tonight, Phil?
I'm doing pretty good, Billy, and I'm very excited because it's Christmas week, and I got my two paisans from Brooklyn. I'm ready to start singing Dominic the Donkey at this point. I swear to God. It's about to flow out of my mouth. Sing it the chin, it's Dominic the Donkey.
I'm a little nervous, me not being from Brooklyn, being surrounded by three guys from Brooklyn. I don't know if I should have had an interpreter come in and
you're good. You're
tell me the meaning of some of these Brooklyn sayings, But let me introduce our guest, from another part of Brooklyn, Jimmy Calandra. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
It's great to have you. And of course, retired NYPD first grade detective, also straight out of Brooklyn, Tommy Dades. How you doing tonight, Tommy?
Good, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Now, let me ask you something.
He's wearing,
yeah, he's wearing a Brooklyn shirt.
That's it, my man.
I don't know. Did they get them in like the Brooklyn equipment section like we had on the PD?
Yeah, you get a Brooklyn shirt, you get a nice Louisville Slugger baseball bat, gold chain, a bottle of cologne, and if you're into Sinatra, they throw you a CD of him.
Hey, Philly, remember those Italian horns they used to hanging from the mirror? Remember that shit?
I go to a Sala Maria over here. They sell them in there, Billy. I swear to God. And if you unscrew it, the little hunchback's in there. That's the real deal.
Let me ask you something. Is Satrial's really in your neighborhood?
No, that's not near me.
That was just in The Sopranos. That was an imaginary pork store.
Yeah, but there's a real one right where they filmed that in Jersey, like down the block. So, like where the DeCavalcanti family hung out. So it was so close to the truth.
So Satrial's is a real place then.
There's another place. They made that up.
Put a sign up on there, Tom?
Place, yeah.
Okay.
It really exists right there.
Yeah. Tommy, you could probably turn up your volume a little on your mic or get a little closer. You sound a little bit low.
Jimmy, I just wanted to say there's a lot of people of late. I'm on YouTube all the time. There's a lot of people of late that were from the criminal faction trying to start their own YouTube channels. What about that shit? What's going on?
Well, you guys been on YouTube. Listen, I love your intro. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's perfect for you guys. YouTube has become a freak show. That's what YouTube is now. It's a freak show. It's you know what? You could create lies on people, you smear people, and this is what it is today. So it's a double-edged sword. You put yourself out there, you want to do the right thing, you want to tell your story, you want to tell the truth. Then you have these people that are nobodies. They want to attack you and create lies about you to make people not like you.
Yeah, but you got to just ignore people like that because they were wannabes that aren't real. They're not the real thing. People know who the real thing, the real guys are. Same thing on the police department. People who knew who the real police were, and they knew who the empty suits were too.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Billy, because in the police department, guys that were what I call super cops or real active cops, they never told you about all of the shit they did. Other people talked about it and they didn't have to brag. And then the brag is most of the time They were full of baloney, full of shit in plain English. I think that somebody like Jimmy comes on and, you know, he had what he had in the past life. And if he wants to tell a story, and I mean, so far, everything I heard sounds legitimate to me. I mean, and we have somebody that worked with Jimmy Tommy that could actually back up some of the, you know, some of the stories that he's referenced over time. But, you know, there's always going to be haters and jealousy. And there's an old saying, with success comes jealousy. So, you know, you're going to have the haters out there. But I think if you give them energy and you talk about them, it's really just defeating the whole purpose of what you're trying to do. A guy like Jimmy that pretty much leads a clean life now, and he's trying to do something good, and he wants to send out a positive message. And listen, talk about what happened in his life. I have no problem with that, and I don't think anybody else does. And you know, there's going to be those people that you know, they're going to be jealous, and they're going to say stuff that's not true.
You know, I was driving around today and I ran across these signs, and I thought if I put them up, you guys might get all emotional. But
who's Louis Liotta? That might be somebody that died on 9/11. Usually, they put the signs up when if somebody passed away from 9/11.
It's a possibility.
Hey, Jimmy, let me ask you something. You got a good mobster Christmas story?
Oh yeah, we got to get into that.
A Christmas story I can tell you. I remember the Bonanno Christmas parties where Frankie Lino would show up, and Sparrow and Frankie Porco. And I remember me and Paulie Golino buying Anthony Sparrow and Frank Porco what are they called when you come out of the shower? The bathrobes. We bought them bathrobes, and we stuck $1,000 a piece in the pocket, and we gave it to Sparrow and Frankie Porco at the time. But I remember Christmas time was a good time because even when you were a kid growing up, the guys always staked you on the corner, you know, Merry Christmas, whether it was a $50 bill, $100 bill. So Christmas was very special on Beth Avenue growing up, you know.
I'm inviting you to my next Christmas party. I swear to God. And I do like bathrobes, Jim. So don't hold back.
And Jimmy, I was going to say I could use a robe too. Well, there's two pockets, one on the right and one on the left.
Listen, you two guys deserve a new bathrobe each with $1,000 each in the pocket.
Thank you.
And so does Tommy Days.
I think put it all on head, Joe.
Well, it's not easy getting this right. You know what I mean? I think Tommy might have a Christmas story or two in all his many years in law enforcement.
I know which one you want to hear.
Yeah, come on, Tommy. Give it to us from start to finish. I mean, it's Christmas week. It might not be such a fluffy story, but
it's a sad story, as a matter of fact. You know, I mean, you asked me, do I recall anything that happened Christmas? I worked many a Christmas Eve and Christmas days in a squad, but I remember during the war, the Colombo War, a guy named Vincent Vasaro, who was a maitre d' in Venus 2, the diner, and his only mistake is that he was related to Wild Bill at the time, and there were 3 people shot like within 2 or 3 weeks of this homicide. And I was in the 6-8 at the time, but we were on a detail with the FBI, and I remember responding, as a matter of fact, with Inspector Lynch to Bay 11th Street, and they drove by, they saw him, and he was hanging Christmas lights or garland on the door. It was like early December 1991, I believe. And they shot him in the head and killed him. And the guy had just beat stomach cancer, and he wasn't a gangster. He was related to Billy. He'd go to the club. He was like, he took some action or whatever, but he wasn't involved in the war. And it was like a waste. They killed the guy for nothing. You know.
Was that fallout from the war? Was the Colombo mob war?
That was a mob. That was one of the murders during the war, and I remember going there, and I knew Vinny before I was a cop. I knew Vinny. He was no gangster. He played half a gangster, but he was harmless. He was totally harmless.
Yeah, I guess that's not such a real nice Christmas story. But I tell you, I can remember being in the squad on Christmas Day, maybe a few years before I retired, and I didn't have any children at the time, and I worked to give guys with kids off. And about 10 o'clock in the morning, a phone rang. We had an 18-year-old kid that they were drinking and partying the night before, and the kid downed a lot of vodka all at once and passed out. They put him face down in the bed, and the kid wound up, choking to death on his own vomit. So that was not a very pleasant Christmas Day. I mean,
are these Grimm's fairy tales you guys are telling? These are the most beautiful Christmas stories I think I've ever heard in my life.
It just popped into my head.
I could give you, you know what? I could change that and give you a happy Christmas story.
All right, Jimmy. I think we need a happy one.
I remember December of 1992, right before Christmas, we robbed the Staten Island Mall Bank. Me, Chris Paciello, Bella Fiore, William Galloway, and Tommy Reynolds. We got almost $500,000. And you know what? That Christmas was a good Christmas.
I can only imagine.
What was the name of the bank?
The Staten Island Mall Bank. I think it was.
I'm dreaming of the Staten Island Mall Bank, just like the ones I used to know,
and when I
where the safe is full and the security is not working, and the tellers don't have any guns. I'm dreaming of the Staten Island Mall Bank.
I bet Jimmy dreams about that day too. $500,000.
You know what? Look, at that time, I was 23 years old, and to pull off something like that was a successful heist. So, yeah, it was a pretty good time for me.
That sounds like a good score. Dana Carter Posse, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. She says $5 for Tommy to tell Christmas present story. It's funnier. You know that story, Tommy?
No.
Where these fans coming up with these stories and you don't know them. I also want to mention Duty Ron. Duty Ron, thank you for the $10 super chat. Everyone in Duty Ron's family is COVID right now. Not everyone, but his wife and his son. We're wishing them a speedy recovery. And to tell you the truth, I think we're all going to get it in the next couple of months. It's even if you got vaccinated, I feel like a pincushion. I got stuck so many times in the past month.
Yeah, very scary.
Yeah. But Duty Ron, we wish everyone gets well very quickly and that you're spared getting it,
Absolutely. Duty Ron, good man. I think they heard the story about Jimmy with the bathrobe and the $1,000, and they're saying, Tommy, you got any Christmas present stories? That's what I think that was. Tom, you got anything else Christmas related?
Narcotics. We were.
Narcotics. Yes. Okay.
It was me and John Massoni, and we were Manhattan Sound Narcotics, and we wrapped. We had $100,000 in a suitcase, and the whole team was in the bar, but everybody was celebrating Christmas, and the kilos were wrapped up as Christmas presents. So it was a bunch, a bunch of Colombian guys, and they were like, I don't know, 5-6 kilos wrapped. They walked in like Merry Christmas, and we handed off the money, and they handed off the bag to us. We walked out, and before they could get out, there were like 90 guys on top of them. That was pretty funny.
I guess they didn't get to open up the presents and enjoy the $100,000.
No.
These are all beautiful Christmas stories. I got to tell a quick Christmas story. This is 100% truth, too. A month before I went on the police department, it was December 15th, 1984. I lived in Stuyvesant Town on Avenue A, right off of Avenue A and B. And my roommate's girlfriend was shopping with his kids over by Avenue B. And she came in, and some savage followed her into the elevator. And on the elevator, he pulled a gun on her, and he said, give me your money. And she goes, here's $500 and a gold chain. Just leave me alone. He goes, no, baby, we're going up to your apartment, right? Ooh. So the elevator comes up to the 12th floor, and I'm standing there waiting for the elevator with my brother. who, if there was a savage on this earth that I would rather be with, he was the guy, you know. So we knew something was wrong, but the mutt had a bag of groceries covering the gun, and this girl Phyllis was trying to mouth to us, "He has a gun. He has a gun." But I knew something was wrong, but I knew it wasn't the right time to jump him. You know what I mean? Because I knew I just thought it would have been a bad time. So she gets out of the elevator and she says, "Could you help me with my keys to the apartment? I'm having problems with my keys." So I open the apartment. The mutt follows us in, drops the groceries, and sticks the gun in my face. And I'm like, oh, shit. When you have a gun stuck in your face, man, there's no other feeling of your heart dropping into your chest, you know? So he was afraid of my brother. My brother was like 5'11", 2.25", but he also had the look of a savage on his face, you know? So he goes, "Call him in here." So he calls him in and he sticks the gun at him and he goes, "Oh, shit." Now the guy says to me, he goes, "All right, give me your money." He goes, "Take off your belt and tie him up." He wanted me to tie up my brother. So I had one of these like elastic belts on. I put it around his hand so loose that a child could have got out of it, you know? And then he was nervous. He was moving the gun back and forth. And he was going to start tying all of us up. And I said, "This robbery is over. There is no way I'm getting tied up." He moved the gun all the way to the right. And I nailed him with a forearm across his chest. And he fired 4 shots at us. And unfortunately, the second one hit my brother in the stomach. But he hit both of us like a block, knocked both of us into the vestibule. And then we beat the shit out of this guy, took the gun from him, ripped him to the ground by his hair because he tried to run out the building, and we held him for the police. That's my happy Christmas story.
Wow. Wow. Your brother made it out okay, though.
Yeah, he lived through it. But you know something? I think when you get shot, it's not just a physical thing. There's definitely a psychological thing to getting shot, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was ever really the same after that, you know? But, and I thought I was going to get shot because I could feel when bullets come out of a gun, you could feel the air. Like if you don't get hit with it, you could feel the air flying. And I could feel that, you know, as I had my hand wrapped around his arm, you know, and, and three of the shots that went into the wall. There was 2 little kids in the apartment too. And it just missed a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old that was sitting on the couch. Wow. And of course, this was 1984. He was, the guy was out on parole for murder, and he was a Dominican illegal. It's just like today, you know, but yeah, that's my beautiful Christmas story. Joe Kane, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Yeah, we're telling beautiful crime Christmas stories.
Listen, it's about the truth. And Billy, I could attest to what you're saying, that I had shots flying over my head and you could hear them whizzing by. And I think the guy was firing a small caliber gun. I forget what it was, but it wasn't like a 45 or nothing like that. And, you know, you heard that couple of shots go over your head, and then one of them hit the pole behind me. I heard that ping. I was like, yeah, it's getting closer. So, but real quick, a narcotic story, not my story, but borrowed from my partner, Artie Williams. Artie Williams was in Manhattan North Narcotics in the 70s. They had a bunch of informants that they would, street informants, they get information off. And Christmas time, they would put up a Christmas tree. And I know this is going to sound unorthodox, but this is a true story. This really happened. They'd put up a Christmas tree in their office, and they would call their informants in one at a time. And they'd come in and they'd pull a bag of dope off. They'd confiscate dope, make small bags out of it, pin it to the Christmas tree, and the informants would come in. They would take their dope off the tree, and they would go out, and that's how they paid them off. I guess Christmas time they gave them a little bonus,
Linda Cosma, thank you much for the $10 super sticker. Joe Kane, C.R. Patrick, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Police Off the Cuff, we're going to try to really keep growing this channel in 2022. As anyone that does a YouTube channel knows, it's not easy. Jimmy Calandra, you can attest to that. You got to just keep plugging along, right? Keep asking people to subscribe and all that other stuff. But we try our best. And, I always say to people, I'm not for everybody, Maybe that's not a good advertisement,
YouTube, I mean, today you're in the high and tomorrow you're in the low. It's an up and down cycle.
Sure is, man. You can't, it is though. You really, Jimmy, you can't please everyone. You just got to be yourself. And the people that love you will love you, and the people that don't, they'll go somewhere else,
Absolutely. Yep.
Hey Jimmy, how did you and Tommy come across? You know, how did you guys meet? How did your paths cross?
That's a
Tommy, I met Tommy when I got pinched in October of '99. What
For
happened
people that
was,
don't know, pinched is arrested. Tommy didn't walk over and pinch him on the cheek. That's arrested.
I got some Brooklyn vocabulary. So what happened was in October '99, my parole officer called me from outside. He said, "Hey, Calandra," he says, "I'm outside. Open up the door." And I was living with my ex-girlfriend at the time. She was with me for almost 19 years. She did a bid with me. And as soon as I opened up the door, I had about 20 guys raid in. And they just took me and just put me right in a van and swept me away. And Tommy Days was one of those guys. And, you know, at the precinct, he put some common sense into my head. And he said, you know, your past came back to haunt you. And, you know, then from there, within 2 months, I started cooperating.
Jimmy, was he wearing his robe?
No, he actually had a bulletproof vest on with with a big pistol in his hand.
Roberto Wilco, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And one of Jimmy Calandra's friends is on here. Boston J, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Jimmy is my big brother, great dad, and my dear friend. So proud of him. Merry Christmas, fellas.
He's a good kid, Boston J.
But
That's
me
great.
and Jim never stopped. We never lost touch from the day that happened. You know, he was very, you know, the information that he helped corroborate, and you know, he did a great job for the government, and me and him stayed friends ever since. We never skipped a beat.
That's great. Duty Ron, thank you for the $20 super chat. He says, here's my partial VIG for this month. I'll have the rest soon. Please don't whack me.
He's got a good sense of humor.
We wouldn't think of it. We wouldn't think of it. This is great. You know, it's fun to be around shooting the shit with the guys around Christmas time. You know, it's a great time of year. Be with your family, be with your friends, right? It's a little hectic though, too, right?
It's a little, sure. You know what it is? I mean, when I look back growing up and when my mom and dad was together, it was really a great time, you know, Christmas time. And, you know, the Christmases are a lot different today compared to, you know, now that my mom's gone and my father's gone and my grandparents are gone. You know, back in the day, they were very good memories. Now today with all these, you know, diseases, COVID-19, then you got this Omicron going on, and it's just a scary time today.
You know, between Omicron and Delta, it sounds like sororities and fraternities there, you know?
Yeah, it does.
The Delta variant.
Nah, you look back and like Jimmy said, I can relate so much to what he's talking about. People are gone. It's not the same anymore. You know, it really isn't. Even when we worked, we were in a squad room. It was a festive time, you know. And but you know, when your family starts disappearing, it's not the same. Really
but you know, Tommy, everyone on this in this world, on this earth, has their time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can go back, look at people on the police department. How many people on the police department are no longer with us?
I know, a lot of good people.
Yeah, and that's the nature of life. And unfortunately, you know, you can't go back. You can never go back. You got to always move forward.
You hold on to those memories, you know.
Yeah.
It just, but it's not this. It just for some reason it's not the same.
Not the same.
Feel the same.
Things definitely change. And listen, this time of year, with what's going on, like you guys said, with the Omicron, with COVID in general, parties are getting canceled. People are trying to get back on track. I mean, we used to have an annual party every year with the Detectives Endowment Association, the DEA. It was always a great party. I would love to go to that. They didn't do it the last 2 years. I know the SBA had one the other day, Billy, but you said it wasn't even that.
No, it wasn't as well attended as usual.
Attended, yeah. So I could remember years, you know, during the time I was on the police force, you know, 4 and 5 parties during the month of December that we would hit, you know, and maybe even more than that. And then I saw something in the paper, something stupid happened at one of the parties. The lieutenant took a lap dance from a female cop and they're getting in trouble, stupid things like that.
I can't believe that, you know.
I was reading that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, first off, What they do so wrong? I mean, I don't know what was going on at the party. I just saw the headline. I read it quick, but so what if they were kidding around? They're going to start suspending people and taking their livelihood away. I mean, come on, it's stupid. But anyways, we're going through a crazy.
Hey,
time.
who knows Pazzo? He says, "Hi, Phil, Tommy, Bill, and brother Jimmy. Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless and Happy New Year." He's your buddy, Jimmy.
Yes, Pazzo's a good guy.
Good man.
He looks
Pazzo.
great. He looks like the Brooklyn guy.
Yeah,
Got the sunglasses.
He's a good guy, Pazzo.
Looks like he just walked out of the front of Gold's Gym.
He's one of my moderators.
Oh, that's good. You need moderators these days.
Yeah,
John Stolberg, thanks for the $5 super chat. And Duty Ron, Tommy Dades is an excellent detective. Tommy Dades, you got some fans out there.
We knew that.
I can't tell you about Tommy's female fans in the chat. I got to oh my God. I love Tommy Dades.
He's a hit with the ladies, that's for sure.
Oh my God.
I'm all washed up.
He's all washed up.
He was always a hit. The whole time I know him, he was always a hit with the ladies, but that's another story. But Jimmy, I got to ask you a question. You're talking about the Christmas party that Frankie, I think you said Frankie Lino used to throw it. That's a name that I know.
Frankie Lino was a character.
Yeah. Oh, I know he was. I knew him growing up. But tell us a little more about the parties. Give us an idea what went on in them days at them parties.
The parties, when we had the parties, for example, Little Robbie Lino would be there. Anthony Basili would be there. The Avenue crew would be there.
Where would they have the party, Jim?
It would be at 2020 on 86th Street.
Oh, that's
Well, their hours, right?
Yes, the 2020 on 20th Avenue and 86th Street. And, all these guys would be there. And at the time, you know what? Paulie G really had this big ego with him. He was a tough kid. And, he really didn't like too many guys. So when he saw other guys like from Avenue U, he really much like dissed people. That was his problem sometimes with Paulie. His ego was too big. Instead of, being polite and being nice to people. And that's what that life is. You got to respect everybody. You can't disrespect other people. When you disrespect other people right away, you know what? They're not going to like you. And that's what was Paulie G's problem. I mean, he should have respected people a little more. I love Paulie and I'm always going to talk good about him. But, growing up in the street, that was his problem,
Hey, Jimmy, was Paulie the guy who used to slice the garlic with the razor? He had that system, and then the garlic would go in the pot and it would just melt?
No, he should just slice people's throats. But honestly, that's how he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, did you ever do any surveillance on Christmas parties? I mean, that would be something that all the guys showing up. And
We did one or two, but like Matty and Frankie, they used to school me like, don't do wakes, don't do like certain things like kind of
taboo,
because there's other places that you can find people Christmas time or whatever, things like that, if someone passed away.
Yeah.
Disrespect the family, things like that. You know what I mean?
Billy, do you have the picture of Tommy with the two gentlemen we talked about earlier? Maybe you could put that up now.
Yeah, I do. Let me see if I could find it here. I got a lot of pictures here. I got one. This was the chairman of the board. This guy at one time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to find Tommy's picture. Well, this is Tommy in the suit he used to own.
How you doing? How you doing?
Come on, could you have a more handsome detective than that? That's why he's got the ladies all after him.
I'm trying to find that picture.
Tom.
I got it somewhere. All
right.
I got so many pictures in here. That's why it's tough for me to find it right now.
I didn't mean to cut off Tommy. Tommy, you were saying something else. So there was basically like a mutual respect for funerals and wakes that you didn't want to, and parties.
Things you stayed away from, That's how I was taught anyway.
There we go.
There we go.
That's Frank Shapiro and Matty Chicorco. Those are the two agents that actually locked Sammy up. And,
yeah.
They're friends with him to this day, and Sammy has just as much respect for them and vice versa, but they took me under their wing, and I was like 32 years ago, and they're two of the nicest guys. They forgot more than I know, and I love the both of them. And you know, Frankie, they were close to Frankie DeChico, Jimmy Brown, Fiella, Sammy. I mean, everybody knew who they were, and just showed them a lot of respect because they show respect. So they just taught me what to do, what not to do, you know, and basically to treat people good. But two of the most sweetest guys in the world. I love them to death. I really do.
Yeah, yesterday I had the pleasure, along with Tommy, to meet them. We had a luncheon, and I got to tell you, Tommy had spoke about them many times. Obviously, Sammy spoke about them on his podcast, Sammy Gravano, Sammy the Bull. And when I got to meet them yesterday for the first time, they were two gentlemen, and on 2 or 3 different occasions, they each came over to me and thanked me and Bill for giving them a shout out on a previous show that they did. And from the conversation, I was sitting next to them, and the conversation we had throughout the afternoon, Tommy, I have to agree, they didn't have like a braggadocious attitude about all the great stuff that they did.
They're watching right now. They're the best.
No, they you could see they were down to earth guys, and they also translated to me that mutual respect, so to speak. Like, in other words, if they went looking for a guy, I think it was Maddie was telling me a story. They were looking for a guy, and the guy jumped out the back of his house and jumping over fences and something. They went to his boss and they said, "Listen, we went looking for this guy. What does he got to play that game with us for? You know, just don't worry about it. You know, give me your number." And half an hour later, the guy called and was apologizing to him. I didn't mean it. You know, it was like, we got to do our job. You're going to do your thing. We're going to do our thing. And let's just play nice. And, you know, mutual respect. And I think that you could see from talking to those two guys that they were genuinely good guys, and probably guys that would have got along with, you know, 2 FBI agents that probably would have got along with NYPD guys very easily. And you don't have that a lot. You don't have that cooperation a lot of times. But they were just 2 nice guys. I wanted to shout out to them again. Billy, they said thank you to you too. They really went out of their way. They appreciated it. And 2 good guys, 2 good.
I talk to them about Jimmy all the time too, you know, and so does Sammy.
Now, Tommy, are you wearing a fire department sweatshirt there?
Yeah, I am. As a matter of fact,
we got to give another shout out, Tom. Shout out.
That's my name. It was given to me by a dear friend of mine who he's a 3-star chief in the fire department, and he was a cop first and a sergeant, and he left.
All right, there. We'll let it go then. We'll let it go.
Tommy, come on, give him a shout out.
Shout out to Chief Michael Gala.
That's another good guy. Another good guy. He was a sergeant in the police department, and his father was a
lieutenant in the fire department.
Father was lieutenant, and he always wanted to be a fireman. He was doing well in the police. I think he had like 10 years in when he rolled over, right?
7.
Okay, but he was going places. He was an anti-crime. He was a sergeant and a very active guy, and he made it all the way to 3-star chief in the fire department. Shout out to him. Merry Christmas to everybody, to the 2 agents, Maddie and Frankie, and to and Chief Galler as well.
Peter Miller, Jimmy speaks the truth with no exaggeration or embellishment. Thank you, Peter Miller, for the $4.99 super chat.
You know
Jimmy,
what?
you got some friends here.
Thank you, Peter.
Some of these podcasts that are out there, and you know, not getting into any drama, not feeding into anything, but you know, to say anything, you know, about anybody, and you know, if anybody attacking Jimmy, and I've watched some of them, and attacking Sammy, and you know what? You don't really see Jimmy attacking anybody. You don't really see Sammy attacking anybody, and there's really no reason for it. It's like they're making a joke out of, you know, this whole thing. You know, they're making a joke out of it, and it's like hatred and you know, it's stupidity stuff. And if you want to tell stories about what happened, like cops like to tell stories, wise guys like to tell stories. What's with the hate? What's with the attacking? You know, and to me, I personally believe it's all jealousy. As you can see, Jimmy lives a beautiful life. He changed his life completely. Everything, you know, that second chance, every piece of it, Jimmy's taken advantage of. A second chance at life, and he's a great dad. He's a good friend. You know, he's got a great girl, and he's doing very good for himself. So whatever anyone's saying, they're full of shit. And I don't know what their motives are for saying. I really don't. You know, it's like he's a good guy, and I'm saying he's a good guy. These guys were on the same side of the fence as he was. What do they got? They weren't saying nothing bad about him when he was in the street. Now from Iowa somewhere that they're talking stuff over a computer. It's retarded. It really is.
We call them keyboard warriors,
Keyboard warriors, exactly.
Yeah.
They hide behind the keyboard. Jimmy, real quick, you said something to me before we went on the air about how you feel about the whole thing, and you said something that I thought would put it very much into context. What you told Jim Walden, maybe do you remember what you told me earlier?
Yes. When I first came forward, I told Jim Walden, I said, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to lie for you when I came forward, okay? And I was very honest, and I told him everything from when I robbed a pack of bubble gum when I was a kid. So I wanted to make sure everything I did in my life was behind me, and I could go forward and put everything behind me and start a fresh life. I never went into no witness protection program. I couldn't do it. Tommy Dage knows that. My father passed away while I was doing prison time. He worked the same job for 35 years, passed away at the age of 59, pancreatic cancer. And the 2 weeks before he passed away, I didn't call the house because I couldn't get on the phone with him. Because every time I spoke to him, I got a lump in my throat, and he had a lump in his throat. And so I never really got the proper goodbye to say goodbye to my dad. But, look, I made the best decision. And I'm never going to regret it because I got 2 kids out of the deal. And my life is really, my life just started. The last 2-3 years started really coming together. I met a beautiful girl in my life, and I learned a lot from her. So I'm blessed by God, and I just want to help people from, my bad past. If I could open up somebody's eyes, that's what I want to do.
Good for you, Jimmy. I just want to mention, guys, this is the anniversary of the assassination of Rafael Ramos and Officer Wenjen Liu. They were posthumously promoted to detective, but I just always keep that in mind. There are people out there that hate the police, and people that encourage people to do the things that happened to Rafael Ramos and Wenjen Liu. And I just want to, Francis Coyle, thank you for reminding me of that. Also, Joey D, thank you for the $20 super chat. Love my brother Jimmy. Always great to see you and Tommy together. It's a blessing. He is in your life. That's a treasure for sure. Police off the cuff. And Tommy Dage, thank you to you guys for your service. God first. Thank you so much, Joey D.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey Dove.
Billy, Francis Coyle, that's my sister. My sister Fran, who I love and respect so much that she brought that up. 2014, December 20th, Wenjen Liu and Rafael Ramos, they were executed. Wenjen Liu lived right around the corner from my sister, not even a block away, just right around the corner. And thank you, Fran, for bringing that up. I was going to bring it up at the end of the show, but I'm glad you brought it up now. Those guys were posthumously promoted to detective, like Bill said, and they were executed. And it was the beginning of the anti-police, rhetoric over the past few years, and defund the police and stuff like that. And those guys were, basically just minding their own business. They were in a police car with a uniform on, and they were targeted because of who they were, that they were police officers. And God bless them and their families.
100%. Christine M, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. You guys have been so generous this evening. Maybe it's because of the guys I'm with. I'm getting good luck. I got all these 3 guys from Brooklyn. They're blessing this guy from Westchester, I won't say where I'm from in Westchester, but just realize I am strapped with 3 9mm around my desk.
Plenty of clips and plenty of
and extra clips. This is a 2 or 3 clip location.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why Sammy, when we went out with Sammy, he goes, I know where all 3 of you guys are. He goes, I got a hit team coming your way. And I said, yeah, but Sammy, we're all strapped too, and we know how to shoot. We train. We practice.
Yeah, he acknowledged that too.
That was funny. But Philly, just take a quick break, and could you do that?
Yeah, we're going to give a shout out to Joe Murray. Good man. Joe Murray, attorney at law. Have you found yourself in a jam? Are you in need of legal counsel in the New York area? Do you need a victim's advocate? Well, Joe Murray is your man. He's literally knows both sides of the fence. He's not only an experienced trial attorney, he's also a retired 15-year member of the NYPD. His website is jmurray-law.com. His telephone number is 646-838-1702, or you can email Joe at joe@jmurray-law.com. Joe's got a great podcast called Allegedly Guilty as well. There's the mug he sent us. He's a good man.
You know, Jimmy, Joe has a great story. Joe was an NYPD police officer, and one day he made a very bad decision. One of his friends had a problem with a detective in this squad, so he goes there in uniform. He's working. He's on duty. And I'm not telling the story that he hasn't told. He told the story on our podcast. He goes to the squad and confronts this detective. And the story goes, the detective put his hands on him. And Joe Murray was a heavyweight boxer for the PBA boxing team. He hit the guy once and broke his jaw in 2 places, and gets collared in uniform.
Wow.
They wanted to put him through central booking in his uniform. And the PBA delegate was like, no way. The chief of detectives wanted him to go through central booking in his uniform.
Wow.
Shame on the detective for even saying anything. Should have said he fell down the stairs.
Yeah, but anyway, so Joe Murray gets collared. Now he has to fight the case. He beats the case because he testifies in grand jury and there's no true bill. So the case dies right there. But the civil case is still going on. And in the civil case, he represents himself because he has no money to pay an attorney. And he beats the civil case.
Wow.
So, but he had to get off the police department because everyone was going after him. The chief detectives wanted his ass because he broke a detective's jaw. And he vested it 15 years, didn't even have a college degree. Got his college degree and then went to law school and got his law degree. Now he's a great attorney. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
a great story, right? So he always tells everyone, he goes, hey, I know what it's like to get arrested. He goes, I know what it's like to be on the other side. So great story. And a great, great guy. I mean, just a tremendous, tremendous guy. I mean,
that's why he's such an advocate for.
And he says, what do you want from me? And he's not Italian, he's Irish. What do you want from me?
That could be too. Yeah, my fee's gonna be a bag of money like this.
That's right. Well, it's $10,000 down and $5,000 next month.
All right. What do you want from me? Now, he's a good man, Joe, and you could see he's real. If you've seen him on the show, he's a real advocate for the proper ways of the criminal justice system. He doesn't believe in any phony baloney nonsense, and he's really just a great guy. We read his commercial. It's a pleasure to do it, and he's really a good attorney.
He's a great man. Ron Schindel, Inspector Ron Schindel from both our job and the Port Authority. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you, Ron. I value your friendship. You're a great man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good man.
It's Christmas time in the city.
Very festive behind you, Jimmy.
Huh?
Very festive behind you.
Yeah, we got a nice tree over here.
God bless. God bless.
Yeah, this year, Jimmy, I just got one of those Charlie Brown trees. It's like 2 feet high, 3 feet high, just my wife and I. So we got no kids anymore. Our kids are 26 and 29. So I'm not buying a big tree just for us,
Yeah, I put up for the kids.
No, if you have kids, you got to have a nice tree.
I know why Cannon has a small tree, because now the kids are gone. So when he chases his wife around the house,
that's right. Yeah,
you don't want to knock over a big tree.
I don't want the big tree to get in the way.
It's no big deal, Hey, Jimmy, you brought up the Club 2020 earlier on 86th Street. Did Sammy own that at one time? I think Sammy owned that, right? Or was that Tommy?
Yeah, at one time, Sammy did own that.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you a funny story about the Club 2020. When I first rookie come out of the police academy, while we're in the academy, I used to tell the guys in my company about this great after-hours club on 86th Street, Club 2020, because I used to go there, before I was a cop. So we get out of the academy. Now we're working 8 at night to 4:30 in the morning. So we're getting off 4:30 in the morning, and these guys are saying, "Where can we go? There's no place to drink." But I said, "Wait, I know a place. We go to the 2020 Club." And one of the guys goes, "Phil, I remember you talking about that in the police academy. Yeah, come on, let's go." So now it's like 5:30 in the morning. We get over to the 2020 Club. We're trying to get in. It was upstairs. We're ringing the bell. Finally, the door opens. Guy goes, "Yeah, can I?" says, yeah. I says, "Listen, buddy," I says, "we're on the job." I show him my badge. I says, we got off work late.
That was the worst.
Upstairs. Huh?
That was the worst thing you could do there.
No. Listen to what happened. So I says, "Can we come upstairs and have a drink?" He's like, Yeah, sure, fellas. And he hits a switch. I thought he was opening the light, but he hits a switch. We go upstairs, the lights are on, the music's off, and everybody's looking at us as we're walking through the door. They thought they were getting raided. So the first person I lock eyes with was a guy by the name of Carmine Lamonaco, was a cop with us, and he's white as a ghost. He goes, Philly, what are you doing? I go, nothing. I go, what's going on? We came up to get a drink. He goes, it's you guys? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, let me go get my badge. He threw his badge in a plant. And then he told the bouncers, no, it's okay. They just want to hang out. The lights went off. The music went back on. And we crawled out of there at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
They thought it was a raid. It was
they thought they were getting raided.
Internal Affairs.
The guy hit a switch and there was a light up there, and when that light goes on, the music goes off, and everybody, they're probably hiding liquor and stuff because it was an illegal social club. But we had some fun. Don't forget that was 1982 as well. It was a different time. Today, everybody would get locked up if you did something like that. But the 2020 club, I think I thought Tommy Karate might have had something to do with it too.
Oh, that was Overstreet.
Oh, that's right. Overstreet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, going back down Brooklyn's memory lane, I guess, right?
Jimmy, there's another guy in the chat, Ire32. I love Jimmy's content. He's a good guy with a past, but not like Jimmy's, especially the snakes he's been around. He's still alive to tell the tales. Love Jimmy with the whole of Ireland behind me. That's nice.
Thank you.
You know who that is, Jimmy?
I probably do. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I talk to a lot of people here and there. They text message me through IG. Every so often, I get somebody who needs to, they need to talk to somebody. And, sometimes I'm an ear, sometimes I'm a voice. And if I can help somebody, that's what I'm here for.
That's great, Jimmy. Good, excellent. Jimmy. Lieutenant Pete, Harlem Raiders, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Solid Irish-Italian panel connection tonight. Thank you, Lieutenant Pete. He's a legend in the 3-2 precinct and citywide anti-crime. Lieutenant Pete Pranzo.
Good man. Thank you, Lieutenant Pete. Good man. Hey, Jimmy, you said you had a question earlier before we went on the air, something about SOS or something like that. What was that you were referring to?
What happened was, YouTube has become a freak show. I'm not sure if you guys watch these channels, but there's a bunch of toilet bowls, these toilet bowl people, where one guy had this guy that's supposed to be a cop. He didn't show his face, and he mentioned SOS. I don't know what SOS means. I asked you.
Pillow pads.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. But there's so much going on. I handle things a little different than you guys do. You guys are more gentleman-like. If these are in front of my face, in all honesty, it'll probably be a different ball game. Because that's the way I like to handle things. But I'm growing in life, and I want to do better. I'm giving my life to God. I want to just do the right thing. But I'm working on myself.
That term SOS in police lingo, I've never heard
myself. But if I saw these guys in front of me, in all honesty, it'd be a different.
It might be a different story. All right, yeah, that's good though.
But wait a minute, Philly. I thought we discussed this when we were off the air. We said it meant shadruls on site. Isn't that what it meant?
The only SOS I ever heard was Save Our Ship, which is an SOS for a maritime term on the police in NYPD. Anyhow, I never heard the word SOS, so I don't know where that came from. But the credibility of whoever said that doesn't sound too good, because I don't think they don't sound like a New York cop.
And also, this cop that's supposed to be a cop, he don't show his face, and what he's doing, he's aligning himself with a guy that talks bad about police officers from 9/11 and fire department people. Yeah, so I mean, this guy's a garbage can. So this guy that makes believe he's a cop is also a garbage can for aligning himself with this garbage can.
Yeah.
Duty Ron saying the SOS is the survivors of the shield.
Yeah,
thank you, Duty Ron, for your time.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Someone was asking Tommy Dades for a Sparrow story. You got one, Tommy?
A what story?
A Spiro.
Anthony Spiro. I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of. We when Anthony got locked up, listen, whatever, he treated us nicely. You know what I'm saying? The guy was a bad guy. I mean, let's face it, he was the acting boss of the Bonanno family. He didn't get there by, sitting in a church pew every day. But so the deal was that he was charged with 3 murders. And the deal for him getting house arrest was to have a bracelet on home, like home confinement, with the condition that we could visit him unannounced, even if it was 3 o'clock in the morning. So Walden used to tell like me, my partner, Mike Galetta, whoever else, whatever DA agents, I don't remember. But I remember me and Mike being there, and I think Jimmy Hawkins too. And we walk in and, say, Anthony, like, sorry to break your chops, whatever. He's, no, come on in, come in. So we come in. It's the first time, I mean, we're going back a little bit now, right, Jimmy? It's a long time ago.
Yeah,
so
you're going back 2000.
Yeah, they had a barbecue in his kitchen, like a legitimate barbecue in his kitchen with this vent that would suck all the smoke out of his barbecue out of the roof. And he's barbecuing hamburgers. And I'm like, wow, And he goes, you hungry? I go, I'm hungry. He sat down and he barbecued his hamburgers. We sat down, we ate with him. And, we used to go by, whenever Walden would tell us to drop by there,
Tommy, those weren't hamburgers. That was Paulie.
That was Paulie. I mean, who knows what we read. But he treated us,
You're talking about like to go there and like serve a subpoena or something, or just get?
No, we had, like Walden would tell us, go visit Anthony. So this way, if anybody was there, it would prevent him from having anybody come over to talk to him, like anybody from the Bonanno family, because we make a surprise anytime. So he had to agree to let us in, even if it was 4 in the morning. But we wouldn't go 4 in the morning, we go in the afternoon, just say hello. He'd invite us in. So we would go in, sit down, bullshit with him. And it's the first time I ever saw a barbecue in a kitchen, like a real barbecue.
Now I know what I want for Christmas. I got to tell my wife.
Right.
Jimmy, how was the Spiro Club? I mean, you have any stories about Spiro's Club? Obviously, you were around there.
Spiro's Club was full with a bunch of old-time wise guys. Every so often, you get a couple of young guys in there. Georgie Adamo was his godson, so we were in and out of there. Me and little Georgie, we actually robbed Anthony Spiro's Joker poker machine. Nobody knew about this. We kept it a secret. And I told a wise guy when I did this a long time ago, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he told me, he said, whatever you do, never ever tell anybody that you did that. So yeah, and we got away with it. And Spiro, the next day, he wanted to know who did it. What happened was we had to go all the way to Manhattan to cash in the quarters because we couldn't do it in the neighborhood. So we went all the way down to Manhattan to cash in the quarters. We got like maybe $1,000, something like that, $1,500 in quarters and some cash. And we kept it a secret for a long time. And, he was dying to find out who did it, but it never came out until I came forward and I started talking about it.
What's the story with him when you went in there? I forget who you went in there with. He was cooking sausage and peppers, and he was staring at the pan and didn't offer his sandwich.
Yeah, what happened was that's the time when Joe Benanti had a fist fight with Philly Dogs. I was there with the kid Dean Benicillo. I think Fabrizio was there. Now, at the time, before I went away, Fabrizio was just a regular kid, and, maybe Tommy Days could tell you, in the course of time, a lot of things change. When people get killed, for example, once they kill Paulie G, then it passed down to Joey Calco. Joey Calco was the man for a minute. Then Joey Calco had to go to Italy. Then Fabrizio became the man. I would never think in my lifetime that Fabrizio would get straightened out. But getting back to the story, Philly Dogs was a wise guy with the Gambino crime family, and Joe Benanti was a wise guy with the Bonannos. So Joe Benanti, we went out down to the Brown Derby. I think it was turquoise after the Brown Derby, and Philly Dogs is standing in a spot. So they don't know each other. He ends up going to the bathroom. Joe Benanti stands in his spot. Philly Dogs comes back out, and he says, "Oh, this is my spot." So push comes to shove. In all honesty, I don't know who threw the first punch. They're rolling around on the floor. These are two wise guys. This is Ali Shea's joint at the time. There's wise guys in the club, and nobody could touch these guys. So they end up breaking it up, you know, and we're in one corner. They're in another corner. We call Little Elmo. Little Elmo comes in, and he gets us out of there. I drive Joe Benanti home. Joe Benanti calls me the next morning. He says, Jimmy, he says, you got to go talk to Anthony and tell Anthony what happened. Now, Joe Benanti was my guy, so I'm going to defend Joe Benanti, you know, and say that, you know, our Philly dogs threw the first punch, and I was there, you know, so I had to go there. I got Paulie G. I went to go see Anthony Sparrow. When I saw Anthony Sparrow, he was in the back with Junior Chili at the time. They were making chicken cutlets, okay? So me and Paulie G, we walk in there, and you know, I tell Anthony, I said, Anthony, I was there. I said, Philly dogs, you know, he's the one who threw the first punch. Joe was in the right, and he's listening to me, and he's making these chicken cutlets. They smell so good, you know. I'm dying to have one. You know, I want to taste them. And he don't offer us a chicken cutlet. So after I tell him about Joe Benanti, I walk out of there with Paulie G. And me and Paulie G, we're talking about Sparrow, saying, mate, this motherfucker, he didn't even ask us if we wanted a chicken cutlet. You believe this shit? You know?
Well, you know, the first time I
John's Deli and got a chicken parmesan.
Yeah, the first time I saw Philly, he was on a street in Brooklyn. He was eating a veal cutlet Parmesan Hero. And I flagged him down.
Well, Paulie, I'll tell you, that's another thing about Paulie G. See, Paulie G, he didn't want that to pass either, because he kept on saying, he used to tell Joe Benanti, Joe, let's go to the Puritan Diner. Let's see if we see this Philly Dogs. Now, Philly Dogs was a made guy, you know, and you know, that's how Paulie G was, you know, because Paulie G wasn't there that night with the fight. So he felt, you know what, let me run into this Philly Dogs. I'll give him a fucking beating, you know, and that's how he was. But at the end of the day, you know, it went all the way up to John Gotti, and they both were told, because they both wanted each other's head. You know, Philly Dogs wanted Joe Benanti's head, and Joe Benanti wanted Philly Dogs' head. And they were both told, if one of yous die, yous both die. So yous both got to forget about it. It's over.
Wow.
All right. That's a good turquoise story.
All I'm thinking about is the chicken cutlets.
I know.
I would have been salivating at the mouth.
Yeah.
The fight is a draw. It'll never be a fight again.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But you know what? You never hear about stories like that, about two wise guys, you know, raising their hands to each other. You don't hear stories like that.
Yeah, no, of course not. Jimmy, you told me another story recently about something that happened. I think it was on 13th Avenue, where a guy come at you with a bat, and then you fired shots at the guy. You want to tell us that story?
Yeah, I could tell you what happened was, at this time, there was this kid, Michael Marola. Okay, Michael Marola, Tommy Dates might have known him. He was a little drug dealer. He was a little wild man. He's from 13th Avenue and 80th Street. Okay, at this time, I was hanging out with him. He was one of the first coke dealers to have one of those big phones in the car. They were like TVs.
Yeah.
You walk around with them. So what he did was, he used to steal everyone else's numbers. Like if you had a beeper number, we had a Chinese guy downtown Brooklyn. We would get your number, and we would duplicate your beeper number and have your number. So every time someone beeped you, we would be able to call them first, because we had the phone in the car. So they would have to go to a payphone. So we would meet them first, you know. So he had a beef with this kid, Leo Insalaco, okay, on 13th Avenue and 80th Street. We're going into a deli over there, and this kid Leo punches the kid Mike Marola in the face. So I punched the kid Leo in the face. It's like, you know, if I'm with you, someone fights with you, I'm going to defend you. I'm going to fight with you. Okay? So I punched the kid Leo in the face. He runs to his car to get a baseball bat. As he's coming at me, I had a 9mm on me, and I shot the kid 3 times in the stomach. So after I shot him, I went down to the kid Mike DeRosa's house on 80th Street. I ran over there. Paulie G came to pick me up. And then I went to California and Vegas for 2 weeks until Paulie G told me to come back. Now, when I came back, this kid Mike Marola was telling me, Jimmy, Uncle Leo wants to meet us. I said, Mike, I'm not meeting nobody. I said, you know what? Don't meet nobody. So one day I woke up, I had the kid Mike Marolo's Corvette, and all of a sudden, Tommy Reynolds or somebody calls me and they go, yo, they killed the kid Mike Marolo last night. I said, really? Yeah, they killed him on 7th Avenue. I said, get out of here. So something like they shot him, they stabbed him, they burnt him. And but yeah, it was a big deal, you know. And Tommy Karate at the time sat down for me. This kid Leo, his stepfather was Gaio at the time. Gaio was a wise guy. They ended up killing him too. I don't know who killed him, but yeah, it was a big thing back then.
And you got rid of the Corvette, I remember, really fast.
What I did was I went to some guy. I got that Corvette chopped up for a quick $1,000. The guy, here's $1,000. Yeah, just dropped it off.
I was at that crime scene, Marolo's crime scene, me and Joe Regina.
How was that crime scene?
They didn't kill him there. They dumped him there, and they lit him on fire. He was shot. He was stabbed. He was beaten, and they threw a torch to him. Remember that nursery, like 68th Street and 7th Avenue? There's a little nursery.
Yes.
That's where his body was. And
Right by the highway there, right, Tom?
Yeah, he was on fire.
And you know what? I wanted to go to this kid's wake, but then I said, you know what? Let me not even go to the wake, you know, because I don't know who's going to be in that wake. But, you know, it's a shame because the mother had the title to the Corvette, but I had to get rid of it because I didn't want it to be, you know, accessory to murder. You know, if I give him the Corvette back right away, wow, you had the Corvette, this kid's dead. You know, they might have put me with his murder, and I didn't have anything to do with his murder, but I shot the kid Leo, you know.
How did you wind up with the car, Jim?
Because what happened was when we went down to California, I had the car in my Uncle Frankie's shop on, that was Mikey DeSantis's brother, Frankie, at the time. He had a shop, and I kept it over there. And when I came back, I had his car, and he kept on asking me for the car. And I wanted to drop off the car to him, but I kept on cruising around with it. You know, I didn't think they were going to kill the kid, you know. But,
sure,
you know, but he kept on asking me. He says, Jimmy, they want to meet us. I said, Mike, I'm not fucking meeting nobody. I said, if they want to meet me, I'll be on Bay 23rd with my balls, meaning my pistol, you know. But, you know, he ended up meeting whoever he met. And that's it. They got rid of him. They killed him.
They set him up.
Yep.
They set him up to be
killed. They got him good.
The guy who killed him is dead. Well,
yeah.
The guy who actually killed him. There's one more people there, but the guy
they say, you know, on the street it was the guy Frankie Myers.
Yep.
So, you know.
Whatever. All right. Now I know you were telling that story recently, and there was some you know, some question on details of it. So I think you covered it right there.
Yeah, you know what it is, Phil? On this YouTube, you have a lot of freaks and weirdos and liars. And what they want to do is they want to try to destroy your credibility. They want to destroy my credibility because they look at me as a threat. You know, I mean, they don't want to, you know, make people like me. They don't want to see me be successful because I pulled a couple guys' cards. I'm not going to tell you who. I don't want to mention their name. And they're liars. You know, guys want to make believe they're made. This other guy wants to make believe he's a hitman. You know, listen, I was a dog. I was a hoodlum. I was surrounded by wise guys. I wasn't made. But you know what? My friend Fabrizio got straightened out. It's a known fact. My friend Paulie Galino was murdered. My friend Georgie Adamo was murdered. My friend Chestnut was murdered. Mike Marolo was murdered. I have a whole bunch of friends that were murdered. You know, I mean, I was involved in a double homicide. Tommy Dades knows this. I mean, you know, unfortunately, I went to go do a home invasion. A woman got killed by accident. I testified to this. So you know what? You could say what you want about me. You can hate me all you want. But one thing you can't say, I'm not a liar. Okay, I tell the truth on anything I say because I have nothing to hide.
The story that he tells about the 13th Avenue thing, we knew about that story before he even came in and admitted it because there were guys that saw it. They came in on a case before him and, you know, just told us information that they knew and Jimmy shot so-and-so or whatever. So even before he came in, you know, we had a lot of stuff on Jimmy that we already knew. and you ask him questions, from, like he said, he hit it right on the button. What's the first? Walden would ask, "What's the first piece of bubble gum you stole?" And whatever you ever did, you got to tell. And it doesn't. People were saying, kind of insinuating that he never shot that guy, and he's going in to tell Walden. Mostly, it's the time that you're trying to get every piece of information. Guys hold back like a little bit until they finally realize they got to tell everything. He's looking for leniency. Why is he going to say he shot somebody if he didn't shoot him?
So Tommy, basically what you're saying is that before Jimmy came forward with that story, you guys knew all the details of the story, right?
We knew every piece of it.
So he told it to you correctly then?
To the T.
So that's corroboration. Okay,
You don't just come in and Jimmy tells a story and okay, that's it. It's gone.
Right, you got to corroborate.
Hours of debriefing. And then it's up to us to corroborate it. And it's his story based on what other people say he did. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we just take someone's word for it and that's it. Okay, Jimmy, whatever you say, it's over. It's corroborated eight ways from Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We knew things, all about that before Jimmy. That whole story, we knew the whole thing before Jimmy even came in.
Peter Miller says they don't like Jimmy because he doesn't glorify the life, tells the truth, and they all lie. So there's a little bit of
and that, you know what, that's the thing too. Look, in that life, there's a lot of treachery. I mean, for example, look at Anthony Sparrow. He used young kids. He used Paulie Galino and all of us to go after Vincent Bickelman. Paulie G finds Vincent Bickelman. He kills Vincent Bickelman. Okay? So you know what? He's not in good favor with Sparrow. Later on, Joey Calco kills Paulie G. Anthony Sparrow gets Joey Calco to kill Paulie G. There ain't no in good favor with these guys. These guys use you. That's what they do. They use you to get what they have to get done. And then when they're done with you, they throw you to the curb, they throw you in the gutter, and they destroy you. That's it.
Jimmy, your channel's called what? Jimmy Calandra?
Jimmy Calandra, Beth Avenue Story.
It's Jimmy Calandra, Beth Avenue Story. That's Jimmy's YouTube. And I would encourage all you guys that are members of Police Off the Cuff to join Jimmy's channel. We like to help each other out. I call it cross-pollination. And it actually works. Fans of Jimmy's come on my channel, and hopefully fans of mine go on Jimmy's channel.
Absolutely. Phil and Bill Buchanan, you guys are great guys. And really, I like you guys a lot.
Jimmy, we got to have a drink one day. I'll even go into Brooklyn. I'll bring 2 clips, but I'll come to Brooklyn.
Anytime.
All right, definitely. We're at an hour and 8 minutes, and I usually go around the whole thing, and I'm going to give Tommy Dades. You got any last words, Tommy?
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a very happy and safe, healthy New Year. Let's hope that 2022 brings this whole world, a little closer together again. That's all.
100%. Jimmy, last words.
Merry Christmas to all you guys, to all my family and friends out there. I appreciate the kindness and your support. So, and a good year to come, a better year to come. That's
great. Philly asked me to put up a couple of pictures of his mom. I'm going to put them up on the screen. And Philly, you got your last words?
Yeah, that's my mom and my older sister, Fran. I believe that's Atlantic City sometime in the 50s. December 20th, 2004 is when my mom passed, which was today's date. And by chance, we also lost my cousin Peter Tomasino, passed away earlier today. So it's a little ho-hum around my house for Christmas time, but I know my mom would be proud of the stuff we're doing, Billy, and I owe it to you that I'm even doing this stuff, this YouTube stuff. And I just wanted to give a shout out to my mother. We used to call her Big T. I know she's smiling up in heaven, proud of us. And I can't tell you what a great, strong woman she was, a real tough Brooklyn chick from Coney Island. And thank you, Billy, for allowing me. That other picture you had up is that's me and my brother. We lived on Neck Road. I think I'm on the left there, and actually my mother's right. But that was, I think it was Easter Sunday. I must have been about 3 years old there. And that smile on her face showed her personality. She always had a smile on her face. She was really a beautiful person and a strong woman. She raised us up pretty good. You know, she was a single parent for like half my life. So yes, thank you very much, Ma, and God bless you in heaven. And I just want to say one other thing about my sister brought up earlier about detectives Rafael Ramos and Winjon Lowe. There's the Detective Rafael Ramos Foundation that was started by his wife. I think it's a great foundation, great charity. If anybody wants to look it up and donate a few bucks, that would be great. And you know, it's Christmas time. We're trying to stay in the holiday spirit. We did suffer a loss earlier today, but we'll get through it. And God bless everybody. Stay safe out there to all the men and women in blue and all the first responders. And you know, we have a few laughs with our guests tonight. You know, we're trying to, you know, maybe talk about different things that are not such great subjects. They're a little bit touchy. You know, Jimmy, I'm glad you came on tonight. You turned your life around and just keep doing the good stuff that you do. And Tommy, thanks for coming on again. You know how much I love you, Tommy. We talk every day. And great guy, great detective. And he was the channel for a lot of guys cooperating and turning their lives around. So I know that that means something in life, Tommy. That was you know, I know you put yourself out there for a lot of people, and you still do. You're always a stand-up guy, and you always will be. So good work, Tommy, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Listen, folks, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And one of the things, and I just want to say about doing these YouTube podcasts, I'm sure Jimmy would agree with me. One of the very best things about doing it is the amazing people that you meet doing the show. And not just the guests, but the people in the chat and the people that actually almost feel like they're in your living room. Absolutely. And become friends, you know, and it's very touching. And I do a show sometimes early in the day called Coffee with Cannon. And it's really like a therapist session for me. You know, I got people from all over the world coming in and just bullshitting with me. And it's a fun time. And so I save money on a therapist. Plus I get to talk to all these great people. So
it's really a great thing, guys. You really, if you didn't tune in, he does it in the afternoons. I got to tell you, it's really going well. Bill's doing a great job. He's getting better and better at it. And like he said, you meet all these people, you know, somebody coming in from Germany, England, all these different places. Think about it. You know, it's across the world, and it's really good. And lots of luck with it, Billy. And
you know, I feel like I'm friends with Jimmy and Tommy Dades, and you know, I've never met you guys in person, either one of you. But I feel like I know you because I met Tommy. I met you so many times on YouTube, right?
You're a great guy. I'm sorry I never got to work with you.
Well, we're gonna get to meet. We're gonna have dinner. We're definitely gonna have dinner together. You know, maybe we should have all four of us together. You know,
that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
I would love to do that.
All right, that'd be great. We're going to do it in 2022. No excuses, right?
Right.
So all you folks listening in the chat and joining us tonight, thank you so much. And I want everyone to have a Merry, Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year. And we'll see you the next time. Good night now.
Good night, everybody.
God bless everybody. Stay
safe. One episode just ain't enough.